Well, it's been a quiet week here in Lake Scabagon, my hometown. The squids are finally back to their regularly scheduled chaos. They recap episodes 142 and 143 of The Pickle and Boot Shop. Brew in a perfectly good segue and listen to a voicemail.
So good. Do you have anything in your glass, Kevin?
I have a variety of beverages tonight.
Did you dip your paintbrush in it?
Would expect nothing less.
I did not dip my paintbrush in it. No, right now.
Shout out to Missy.
Oh, just do the rim, just a little rim.
Yeah. So I started off with the Trim Tab 205.
Okay.
Nice.
Very nice.
It is a Southern Pale Ale. So that's what I'm starting with, and I will get to the other beverages once we get underway. I might also end up with one of the Urban South lime cucumbers, because Sarah wasn't sure if she couldn't remember if she liked it or not, so she was having one of those, and she said if she doesn't, she's going to bring that down. So
good.
Okay,
That's
hero.
fair. There's only one way to find out, right?
She had it before, but she forgot to check in on Untapped and rate it. So
We all on Untapped. We had this conversation via text one time, didn't we?
I think so. Yeah.
We're all
I'm on there.
I don't use it as much as I should, but I'm on it.
I don't rate. I usually just log to be like, oh, I had that one.
Well, at some point we'll start this episode.
Yeah, probably.
Any old time.
Okay.
We're recapping a number of things, right?
We have so much to cover.
So, aliens, you believe in them?
This and other questions on this week's edition of the Pickle Home Companion.
All right, straight yes or no, no commentary, guys. We're going to run down a list right now.
Check one. Yes. All right. Well, happy Failure Puddle Friday, everybody. We are back from Furnace Fest, and we've got lots to talk about. We're going to recap episodes 142 and 143 if we have time.
Yippee.
And then we'll get into some other nonsense. I'm going to kick things off by trying a beer that I brought back from Alabama. It is a Best Made Sour Pickle Beer.
Excellent. This is right on theme, right on brand.
I heard that.
Nice opening. Yeah.
A little tick.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin approaches the bottle. He has the can in his mouth. He looks at the can.
He's considering it.
And the verdict.
Letting the flavor develop.
It's from Martin House Brewing out of Fort Worth, Texas.
You could tell that just by tasting it?
I was going to say that taste told
Fort
him
Worth.
that.
The terroir.
So, I'm getting hints of Fort Worth dill.
There we go.
Well, that aftertaste.
dust.
That aftertaste, all of a sudden he
Stockyard
just said, all of a sudden he goes, y'all.
You've got to taste a lot of dill to know Fort Worth dill by taste alone.
His legs
Well
What
done,
is
Kevin. Well
the
done.
dill?
It's
Don't be diddling that dill.
it's a beer.
It's a beer.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not one I would buy again, but I mean it basically just tastes like you're drinking pickle brine. So,
Okay.
No, but it'll get you drunk.
Yeah.
So I do this
Drink
already.
again.
Like I will drink pickle brine. I enjoy it from time
Yeah,
to time.
same.
You guys, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But
Could you do
Yeah.
a pickleback with that? Like, could you drink something and like that be the pickleback?
Hang on.
Because then you're getting more for your money. Yeah.
For science, I'm going to see if someone will bring me a shot.
Are you ordering a shot?
I'm ordering
Did you
a
just
shot. Hold on.
DoorDash the upstairs?
I did.
I'm jealous once again.
That's
Yeah.
that's scamming the system. If any of your family are DoorDash runners, then
Right.
I feel like life at the Duquesne Buchanan household is just like
Yeah.
always someone running you a beverage, which is wonderful. I'm
It's
very
great.
jealous.
And they show up with treats sometimes.
I know.
Sometimes,
Incredible.
yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see. What do I have upstairs that would work with this?
DoorDash representation. Sorry, did that not work? Okay, never mind.
Wait a minute, but I saw what you did there.
I don't think it counts if you pay for it. All right.
Right.
That is quite true.
Consent is important.
It might have to be Don Q because I think that's
Oh,
Is it
man,
going to be a
okay.
failure pickle? Have we done this yet?
No, I like where you're going. You're going to reverse it. You go with the pickle first and you chase it with the straight alcohol instead of
Yeah.
the pickle back going, yes.
Right,
yeah,
all right.
It's
Right there
it's
with you, Kevin. That's why you're the leader.
we're very
Innovator.
we're very pickle forward on this podcast.
Yes, yes.
It's widely known, I think.
So,
We always
so it
pickle
would be
first.
a pickle front then, I guess.
Yeah.
Rather than a pickle back. So
That's right.
But wait, so I do want at this point now I do want to get some brine and some Don Q and make a failure pickle because I feel like that is possible. It's a combination we could put together.
Yeah.
Can you do your mile? Is there a liquor store
A
mile
liquor
away?
store. I'll look it up.
What if you just added the pickle juice to a traditional failure puddle, but found a very spicy ginger ale? You know what I'm talking about?
Right, right. Like
The ginger ales that are like
ginger
turn the
ale
notch
that
up on
cuts
the
through.
intensity.
Mhm.
Muy
Yeah.
caliente.
Yeah, I think we're mixologists right here.
Steamy. Have you guys had the
Like that bathroom in Alabama.
That's right.
Your
Oh,
secrets
throwback.
are safe with you guys.
Have you guys had the Reed's ginger brew that they make is it strongest? It's like the strongest ginger ale they've ever made.
Yeah.
I got that through the weekend. It was really nice.
Spicy.
I feel like that could hold its own against some pickle brine.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And then a little rum to sweeten it up. Oh, guys, I have a new inspirational anthem for us that I've
What's
been
that?
listening to. Cliff Diver. So I think I've texted about Cliff Diver. I love these guys. Gas City. I'll text it in the thread. You got to listen to
Okay.
Gas City. You'll be inspired. Like whenever, if you don't have a hang in there or you can do it, bud, to pump you up, just turn on Gas City and you'll be ready to go.
So it's like it's an anthem of inspiration.
100%. That's all it is.
Nice.
It starts with you better gas up your homies,
Okay.
which is pretty much the premise of the song. You got to gas up your homies.
Yeah.
You got to gas up your homies.
Mhm.
You
And then
always
they'll
do.
gas you up so you can keep going. It's a good
Okay.
song. And Cliff Diver in general, this is just a plug for Cliff Diver. If you haven't listened to them, you should. But that song is really good. And I listen to it in
Should
the
I
car.
ask about the physics of this? Like if you're gassing up your friends and they're gassing up you, does that infer that you could in fact gas yourself up? Are we more than we know ourselves to be?
Or is it a situation like Amish friendship bread where you're like halving off like if you're depleted of gas, you got to get gassed up and then you cut a chunk off and you gas it up and then you spread it on. So it's friendship gassing.
Synergy.
I can't get enough of that Amish friendship bread. So
multiplies
I
and
appreciate that.
divides and then it grows. You know?
There we go.
That's what I think. It's a dividing cell that just keeps expanding.
I can't argue with
That's
that.
real science.
That was real science.
We could ask Reese
You know what?
fact check that on the pickle and boot shop since he knows science.
Jared, you just
Right.
blinded me with science. Science.
Oh.
Science. Kill.
Oh, look at that. It just appeared out of nowhere.
You have a shot glass full of pickle juice?
Wow. And
No, I hold on.
Oh, it's a Bucky shot.
Bucky shot.
It's a Bucky
Lucky
shot
shot
glass.
of rum? Or no, is it an
Oh,
opaque
This was
shot glass?
the Don Q.
Okay.
Oh, here we go.
Well, rather than a pickle back, we're we're doing. Oh, you got one too?
I got one.
All right.
Oh,
So you can
welcome.
Never pass up an opportunity for some Don Q.
Welcome,
All right.
welcome to the crash.
When I brought this,
Yeah.
you can finish that.
You notice it's the Don Q she's here for. It's not that she's here for the podcast.
Not for the squid.
Right.
Come for the Don
Right.
Q, stay for the squids. We just
That's
changed
right.
it,
That's right.
guys.
Yep.
So we decided rather than a pickle back, we're going to do a
Pickle
front.
forward.
Well,
Pickle
no,
forward.
wait.
Pickle front.
Let's not call it-
Not a pickle front. Let's
We're
not do
pretty
that.
much always pickle front, guys. So
Right.
It's only pickle front when Brock Dennis is involved.
Jeez.
We were going to drink the pickle beer first and then do the shot, right?
That would be the pickle
Yes.
front. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So you do the shot first?
Do the pickle beer first, then the shot.
Okay.
Gosh. Ooh, that's weird.
Oh, the
Sarah's
shot.
rejecting the beer. She's not into it. But she's taking the shot.
Oh,
And
A lot of
Yes.
facial expressions.
finger
Wow.
pointing.
Yeah. Sarah, tell us about
Here,
that.
have
How,
some more,
how was that for you?
Did you love it?
Well, I've never done a shot of Don Q before.
Yeah. And we experienced this together. And now you're going back to the beer because it's
Okay.
so not good.
Something to no, there's no relief here. There's no respite for those who
This
wish.
is when you drink whole milk. I think that's what they say in these situations.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
money don't.
I thought
money
whole
don't
milk
grow
was
on
with like hot sauce once.
Do we need
It
to
is,
text
but I
someone
just
from
assume it-
upstairs?
Solves
Do we need-
problems.
Do we need marinara?
I do not have any cookies.
Okay.
Oh no. Well, then we have nothing to put marinara on.
All right. Well, Merry Christmas.
All right, thanks.
Need pasta
All right,
for the cream cheese.
So
Thanks,
not as
Sarah.
good as not as good as a pickleback.
That was
Okay.
that was phenomenal content.
It really was.
Thank you for your service to the people.
Can we do that as a what do they call it? A low light?
Yeah, that has to be a low
Right.
light.
Oh, that's what we do here.
That's
Mhm.
right.
That's the only thing we do here.
Because we're doing a damn good job of recapping those episodes so far.
That's
You know what
right.
the great
So
part
much-
is, Kevin? You have so much to edit out already.
So, aliens, what do you think?
Hey, look, I got another beer.
Eat cats, is that what I hear? Oh.
Well, it's been a good 12 episodes, guys.
Sure
Yep.
Is our perfect streak over? That can't be true.
No,
That can't be
No, we're
true.
not done
No,
yet.
we're not
It's
done
still
yet.
perfect.
It's
We're
still
gonna pull
early.
this one out.
As far as
It's
I can
only-
tell, this is the best one yet.
It's only the
We're gonna-
third inning. We're fine.
We're gonna square this circle and put an exclamation point on
That's right.
We're gonna triangle this rhombus.
it.
Cattle up this ladder.
So
We're gonna diddle this fiddle.
I actually have a question about episode 142 because
You want to talk about the content? What is this? Go ahead.
Well, it's more. I wrote down a bunch of notes, but I don't remember if that was from episode 141 or 142.
We'll find out.
Nice.
Please, I've also taken notes so I can.
I have
cross-examine.
notes. Look at us.
Oh, okay. Were they talking about interrupting each other and talking over each other on the podcast while recording? Was that episode 142?
I think it was
Hmm.
Okay.
because I think
Was it Joe and Reese?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that would have been
Okay.
142. It was Joe.
Right.
Reese.
Right.
No, for us that was episodes 1 through
through
12.
42 for sure.
Yeah.
That's
Because
actually
didn't,
1 through 15. Actually,
Didn't
happening
Joe say
right
you
now.
always interrupt me to Reese as he continued to talk? Something like that, if I remember
Right.
correctly.
But I did make a note how they were talking about neither one of them, their thing is like talking to other people at festivals. And I came up with the idea what they need to do as far as the podcast goes is they need to hire us to go to these festivals.
Oh, sure.
We will talk to
Oh.
other bands and things like that on their behalf.
I'll be happy.
Yes, we
to.
will.
And we'll do
Yeah.
it for a guest wristband.
Right.
That's our price, right?
Yeah,
I'll do it for a trash can wristband.
exactly. And as we've learned, all we have to do is, just show up and be like, "Hey, have you met Brock?"
Exactly. Once we get the word
Hi.
out that Brock's there, no one's going to talk to them anyway. We're
Even
fine.
hey, even if Brock's not there, we'll just say, "Have you met Brock?" Well, I know him.
Oh, we'll tell him he's coming out. Just wait.
Yeah, and then what we do is then we snipe them and we take them for our podcast.
There we go. Easy. Yeah.
Pew, 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 pew.
Cut to the chase.
Oh, that's good.
This is genius. I'm for it. So, a comment on episode 142. Joe mentioned his upside down pineapple shirt and said no one
Yes.
said anything. We
We all
totally
did.
said something about that,
Right.
right? Like we commented directly on that.
We all noticed it.
I
Yes, we all
believe.
thought-
I don't know if it made it into the episode, but we
Oh.
definitely texted about it.
Yeah.
So what I think probably also he might have been looking at the diabolical discussion page, and that
Sure.
because at that point I don't know how many episodes in he was, but I don't think it was talked about in diabolical discussion, but we all noticed the pineapples on that shirt.
Ah.
Oh.
Does that mean they're part of the lifestyle?
There's no other conclusion to come to.
I don't know any other place where that comes into play.
I don't have any clips for that.
No.
We would
It's
like
become a grounding thought,
Yeah.
a sombering thought.
They can fact check this, Joe. Can you fact check us on the lifestyle, in or out? Yes or no?
And especially now that you're married. By the way, congratulations to the Heidi and
Yeah.
Joe.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congrats.
Beautiful pictures, beautiful family. We're so excited for you. And Heidi, whenever you want to come on to talk about the wedding, we're glad to have you.
It's true.
We'll talk all the
Persona
things.
grata.
Dress,
Yeah.
theme, flowers, all of it. You guys prepared for that?
Mhm.
I'm
man.
ready. I'm ready for it. We all been married. We all been through it. So
Do you know how long it's been since I've talked about flowers and weddings?
I found my wedding binder the other day, and I was.
Did you?
It wasn't mine. It was my wife's, but I
Oh,
found
sure.
a neat binder.
Mhm.
And So I was thinking about just the beautiful, joyous occasion of the Heidi and Joe getting
It's
married.
lovely.
Yeah.
So congratulations.
Yeah. Do we know how long they're on the honeymoon for?
Till December is what they said on the podcast. So
Okay, that's a good long while.
They
No,
only tell accurate facts on the podcast.
That's right. We'll fact check that, but
Sure.
I took a lot of notes on just references, and they are. I put down first, more grim in dogs in general. I support that because of the video. I'm always all in on the video version of the podcast now.
Yeah.
I watch the videos exclusively. I no longer do the audio on the lawnmower. I wait until I can watch it.
Oh wow!
And so,
folks, you need to back the Patreon, because half of the excitement of an episode is watching it and just seeing all the reactions. You know, seeing the special guests, the scandalous moments, and the dogs making appearances.
There was dogs. 90s country was referenced.
Except
leave that alone.
Wrong 90s country.
Oh.
Brooks and Dunn was actually Shania Twain, but that's okay.
There was making out. I commented, I put that in the note, and then
there was making out.
D reference, which I appreciated when Joe said telekinesis, Kyle. It's a mother mind bullet. Big Tenacious D fan over there. So those I have nothing to comment on. I just found them worth mentioning.
I appreciate the inclusion. Yeah.
I noted what they noted.
Have you perfected inward singing yet?
I know you got to do your deep knee rock squats before you get out there. I do that every morning when I get up. So Jimmy Carter and aliens, guys, I did look it up.
I was hoping somebody would.
So there was so I looked it up. I don't have it in front of me right now, so this is going to be a loose fact check. But he did claim to see something at an event at a campaign stop with like an earlier, like for governor or something, not for president, where he saw something with multiple colored lights and things like that. And other people were on the record as have also been there and witnessed it. And he did make a statement when he was running for president that he would make everything transparent about UFOs. But his story changed. Like when he said apparently when he said he saw them, they were able to pinpoint that the date of his campaign event was like 6 months previous. He said it was like September and it was actually in March or something like that. So he got his dates wrong. It happened. Other people that were there said, I recall it, but I don't remember it thinking it was an alien. It was something in the sky. And at some point they were able to, some scientists looked up whatever and found some natural phenomenon with some sort of chemicals in the air and said that's most likely what he saw. But it is true that Jimmy Carter saw something that he continued to recant in other stories and stayed with it, even though his facts were not 100% straight because he didn't have a fact checker podcast.
Right.
That's not his fault because there weren't podcasts then.
You can't blame a guy for that.
But yeah, mostly on target there that Jimmy Carter did have a UFO situation and did say he would open up the government, but I don't think he was able to verify his UFO situation once he became president.
Or is it possible that perhaps he did and he found out there wasn't anything to share? Like maybe when he got there, it was like, well, there's nothing to reveal. I thought there was going to be all these secrets, and it turns out we can barely keep our own act together. So maybe that's it.
Maybe the truth was less interesting than the legend, so it's like let's just keep going.
The truth is way out there.
Yeah.
Did we do like a round robin? Just that we haven't done the yes no aliens, right?
We have not.
Okay. You want to do that now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
I'll go aliens. No.
Yes.
Okay.
Probably team no.
I'm probably team no as well.
Okay.
Definitely Definitely there are aliens.
Pete is now doubling down. No,
but if there are, I just want to, and they're listening, I just want to thank them for just kind of observing and leaving us alone. That's very nice of them.
Right. Yeah. I, for one, welcome our new overlords. Right.
And please subscribe, and give us a 5-star review.
Yeah. I mean, I've got enough shit going on. I don't need to deal with aliens existing. So thank you for just observing.
They're taking over the world. They're an alien.
Is that a Skillet reference? No.
Yes.
Alien Youth.
I left out the youth part, but yes.
Okay, right. So here's my perspective. You guys tell me if I'm way off course, but I feel like it's not that it couldn't be true, but it does seem that like if there was overwhelming evidence, it seems like it would be more widely known and more widely distributed. And I do think like I can be very seduced by conspiracy theories. I think it's interesting to think about what could be. But I feel like I always go back to what is most likely. And it usually seems like if this was in fact the case, that there would be less going, there would be more going on that we would see, and less subjectivity to it all. So again, not saying it couldn't be true, but I just feel like, I don't know. Usually there's an explanation, and usually the explanation is simpler than we'd like to think that it is. That seems to be what I've observed about the world. And I'm only 42 years old, so I'm no Jimmy Carter, but it seems it seems to me that like, I don't know, that like people who would like to believe something usually find something that supports their hypothesis. And people who don't want to believe something generally aren't looking for that evidence. And so it seems like either way, you could fall off that horse either way, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, as a resident alien expert, apparently.
Yes. Aliens exist. Tom DeLonge.
The truth is out there.
Yes.
And I have no backing. And much like those that believe in aliens, I have no backing arguments.
It's just a hunch.
Well, if you recall from the documentary X-Files,
yeah.
David Duchovny once said,
learned a lot from that.
Space Force drafted you. I'm with you, Brock. What's the holdup? If they're out there and they're so smart, why aren't we hanging out by now? And I know that I can see and hear all of you from very far away, which seems like very sophisticated technology. So if the aliens are farther along than us, why aren't we talking? Why aren't we hanging out? Why aren't they on our podcast?
So you used to call me on your cell phone.
Late night.
Wow.
At the risk of getting serious about this episode, was anyone else like it? It made complete sense what Reese was saying about like it being hard at his stage in life with everything he has going on to find the energy and the enthusiasm to continue to play shows in the way they have in the past. But it also was like, oh, like that hurt to hear a little bit. Like it made a lot of sense. I get it. But I was like, oh, I hate that he feels that way.
Now I wonder if, having played Furnace Fest, if his answer would be different now.
Because of his bourbon parking lot hang?
Definitely because of that hot toddy.
One would hope, right?
Yeah.
We gas up our homie?
Our hot Woodford Reserve, baby.
We each gassed each other up.
That's right.
Right.
All the homies are gassed up now.
We will go to the parking lot with whiskey if that's what it takes.
That's
hot
right.
or not. That's right.
Every show, we'll be there. Parking lot, whiskey.
Easily.
Orally playing a guitar.
He was so excited that we gave him whiskey that I kind of just melted inside a little bit, because I was just like, he drank my whiskey.
And to be clear, we did apologize that it was warm and had been sitting in the trunk.
I'm so glad, because I thought I had put it in the cooler, but I did not.
I didn't find that off-putting in one bit.
Well, I will say this, in the side note, I am so glad we went and got ice for the next day for Leonore. Otherwise, that would have ended differently.
Yeah.
She could have been less excited about hot whiskey.
She made it clear that she wanted ice. She's like, ice, cold, please.
Yeah.
Yep. And congrats to her on her first failure puddle.
That's right.
Yeah. How about that?
But really, back to the seriousness part of it is like when Joe was talking about how he had no desire to do any of that anymore, drive.
Right.
I think for me, it made me more thankful that he still wants to do the podcast, and is excited about doing the podcast, and still wants to get together with the insiders. I mean, I didn't find any hopelessness in that. I've actually found hope in that, which was weird, kind of weird. but the fact that he still wants to get together with the guys and have like a cookout, I
Yeah.
mean, that doesn't show, call me a optimist, but that doesn't show any end to the band. That just
Sure.
shows a continuation of them as friends, you know?
Yeah.
And you know what happened with Furnace Fest? I mean, that he had said the same thing before. 2 years later, they played Furnace Fest. So I'm not saying we're going to get a tour. I'm not saying anything like that, but I think it would be, I think we as fans nowadays would not look for the tour side if he found that creative spark again. I think if he found that creative spark again and wanted to put out music, I think we'd be there for it and not expect him to use his PTO or his time without the Heidi to go on tour. I think we would just be excited that he was channeling his artistry, as you know, that spark, and that he found that spark again, and you know that he would put it out there for us. I don't think he would need a tour per se from what he was saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think this would be Insiders Con. Like it would be like we go to them if they're going to do another Insiders thing. It happens in Motor City.
Yeah, like once a year,
Yeah.
once every 5 years. You know, like
5 iron plays. Sure.
Like it's like the Roots picnic, right? Like just one. It's like a picnic every 5 years, even just or whenever. It doesn't matter. Like if you they wouldn't even have to really play a show. I mean, I'm not looking for anything much, but I think that the 90s nostalgia people in us, like he talked about the vinyl, he talked about how 20 people would like it. Well, I kind of disagree with that. I kind of say that, yeah, that's just 20 people in this group that text you about the vinyl. There, if the vinyl went out, I mean, look at the 5 iron Kickstarter way back.
And look at how many people showed up for the Insiders set at Furnace Fest.
Right. When they had 2 other
there was
voices.
a lot of people there.
Yeah. And that was in Alabama. That wasn't Motor City.
That they could have walked across the way to go to. So those were all the people that chose that set and that moment and that experience. And a lot of those people, if not all, would buy the vinyl. And people at home. So
thousands of miles away from Motor City and thousands of miles away from Darien Lake and Lake George, New York. Tie into episode 143.
There we go.
And going off of, not being able to or not wanting to use PTO for touring, look at Starflyer. They're still putting out music. When was the last time they played a show?
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah, he's not into it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Which is fine. But I do get from Joe's angle where he said he hasn't been inspired to write music. So
sure.
I don't think anything's keeping him, like that's not the muse right now. And maybe the podcast is. Like that's where he feels like he's getting whatever juice that the same avenue provides of expressing and sharing and communicating, connecting. He's getting it from this right now. And that's enough with what he has to give. What time he has in space to allot, he can do it to this. But if he doesn't have, I mean, I don't know. I can't imagine at this stage in life sitting down and forcing yourself to create art to give it to a group of people who are asking for it. If it's not something you're burning to do. Where I think one of the differences between him and Reese is like Reese seems to have more inside, even though he said right now it's struggle to write. But like since they've started the podcast, Reese had more of a enthusiasm to produce something.
Right.
To put something out there art wise. And Joe seems fine with like, I don't have like it's not happening. It's not bubbling out of me where I feel like I need to capture it, both for either for myself or the world. Like it's not happening.
Well, and I respect that too. Like that's please don't my comments on that is not that I don't respect the fact that, you know, he doesn't feel that at the moment. I just think I need to kind of squelch the idea that people wouldn't be up for it. You know what I mean?
I agree. Yeah, you know, you're right. There's a bigger audience because I think that Furnace Fest set showed there are people that are not just paying attention, but are enthusiastically wanting to join in. And
that's right.
What's happening?
That's right. And Joe, I know you're listening. I mean, I know that it's that we definitely appreciate the fact that you and Reese get together each week and kind of give us that time each day, you know, each week. So if that's the artistic avenue that you're in right now, we're all for it.
Yeah. And it's a good reminder. I forget sometimes that Joe listens. Thanks, Joe. Appreciate that.
Yeah, we do appreciate that a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
And now that he told me that he'd FaceTime me anytime, I think I'm going to call him now.
I would say, who else is going to DM him and be like, "Hey, you said it, so I'm here. Let's chat about." I don't
Sounds
know. I went
like.
to Detroit once. It was fun.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
that means he'll come on our podcast because he said that he
It's
will
true.
be that bottom
Anytime.
square.
It's
Anytime.
true.
So speaking of guests on the podcast,
Ooh, good segue.
hey,
Did
I
you
did
get
it.
some email addresses?
No,
Phone numbers.
no phone numbers.
Send
So
a Raven.
I should. I do have some that have been living in the tree out behind
The
my house.
segue was going so well, guys. Come on.
I killed it.
Damn it.
Killed it.
If there's one thing we are great at, it's scuttling a segue.
We
Right.
love to kill a segue.
Harshing a vibe.
You want to try it
The old
again?
segue
start from the top.
sabotage.
Yeah.
Nah. So I was trying to think. So we're kind of running into this with the Furnace Fest episodes,
Yeah.
where we're kind of running into like a time crunch of we've got all these extra episodes that aren't recapping previous episodes. Do the listeners necessarily care about hearing us recap the episodes, or do they want us to kind of branch off? And if we don't have a special episode like about Furnace Fest or with a special guest, then we do a recap and maybe we skip some of them. So definitely people who are listening, chime in on the discussion boards. Let us know, like, if we don't recap, say episode 151 because we've got a special guest on, do you care? Like,
Good question.
Do you want us to double up the next time around, even though we'll be kind of behind a little bit? Let us know.
What's that number, Kevin, that they can tell us?
You could either post it on the discussion board or you can call 985-28-SQUID.
Boom!
Yes. Midline.
985.
Oh God, we're new.
I've listened to that several times recently.
Yeah,
Just that part stuck in my head.
Also, feel free to DM us on the old social media on the Pickle Home Companion on Instagram. I check that regularly.
Slide it right in. Yep.
We'll be happy to hear any of your feedback.
And we did get a text message from Jeremy.
Yeah.
I think I mentioned that on the last episode, but we also got a voicemail from my brother.
Oh,
well, let's hear it.
Yeah, we want to know.
Hey, Squids. This is Kyle Brennan, former guitarist and sort of vocalist for Mustard, also Kevin's brother. I was listening to the most recent episode, and I heard the subject of a Mustard reunion come up. I got to say, it has been talked about a few times between me and Kevin. I think it's going to be the other brothers who have much more established non-band lives going on. That'll be the trickier one. But I think if we can't get them on board, Kevin and I just do, like you said, the Juliana Theory route and release all the songs as Custard with a K, because Kevin and Kyle. So that's my theory. Enjoy.
Yes.
I am 100% against. Not against. I'm all for that.
All in on Custard.
All in.
Bring on the Custard.
I think I was so into it that I said I was against it. I'm all for it.
Double negative's a positive.
Right.
That's right.
So Custard, yes, tell your brother, do it.
Yeah.
And then we're taking credit for reuniting Mustard.
If you could name that album Boston Cream, that'd be awesome.
Right?
Absolutely.
Oh.
Absolutely. You really should.
This is so good. Make it
But yeah, that actually, that voicemail, once I got that, we started going through some of the old demos that never got released, and we were like, oh, what if we just redid this song? What if?
Please do.
Right.
100%.
So, I don't know.
This.
It reminds me of Steve Taylor when he either sold or lost the rights to Squint Entertainment. He came back with Splint Entertainment.
Right.
So you just change a letter, you're good.
That was the original Taylor's version. I like that.
Yeah.
He did it first.
Yeah, he did.
Yep.
Steve Taylor did many things first.
He is. He's a genius.
I forget if I've asked you guys. Have any of you guys seen him live before?
Never have.
I wish.
Oh my gosh.
Had the opportunity to, and the the people at that time I didn't have access to a vehicle, and the people that were going to drive us there, their car broke down, so it didn't work out. But that would
sad.
That's such a bummer. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I
Wait,
saw him on
no,
the
I take it back. Sorry, go ahead.
I saw him on the Liver tour,
Ooh.
Nice.
and it was so good.
With hair, lots of hair.
Yep.
Yeah.
I backed Blue Like Jazz. I'm still waiting for that phone call from him and Donald Miller, but that's okay.
I have seen him live in person, but not performing music. Just at a show.
What was the occasion?
That was the Rick Elias benefit when they did the Jesus record in full. He attended, and I saw him, and I took a picture of him.
Nice.
It was outside his home. I was just happened to be cruising.
Right. I was in the bushes.
I found myself sitting in some bushes, minding my own business. He came out of his house where he lived.
I did see the Goliath tour, and I bought the golden ticket. So there was, when we saw him, there was no backstage. So the backstage was just like they were breaking down the music stuff, and people who had the golden tickets gathered in a circle and said, "Hi, Steve," and he gave us all moon pies. So that was super cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Do you still have that moon pie?
I ate it, so presumably it's still part of me. I think those particular molecules never leave your body once you swallow that.
If you replace all the boards on the ship, is it still the same ship? That's the question.
Yeah, except here's the thing: the moon pie never leaves from here on out. Yeah, the rest of me cycles through. The moon pie is there; it's part of me forever.
I've had a few of those, so no.
You're mostly moon pie at this point.
No, the great thing about that show is that like they were having a great time. It was a great band, anyways, right? Because you got Painter and Furler and Abeg.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Jimmy Abeg.
Yep. Yeah. And so like great band, just a crack band. It was pretty incredible. And afterwards I was able to corner each of the band members and ask them to look like they were sick of the exposure and me being like a fanboy or whatever. So I like had a huge smile. I told them just to be like disgusted with the whole thing. And so I was able to get that picture with each of them.
That's awesome. I did
which is the opposite of the Furnace Fest thing where
the anti-rock.
Where everyone was very excited to take pictures with you.
They walked a mile.
You're like, another one?
It's true.
Y'all have any thoughts on episode 143? I have notes. One, I just think we need to make note of saying when you meet Brock in person, you'll know. Yeah. And you'll ask yourself, am I gay? And you'll say, I want to grow a mustache now. Those are all the effects that Dick Broadus has on you in person.
And I also do want to talk about how the fact that
I would just like to fact check that and can confirm.
Fully gay for Brock. I also laughed when he said that Brock was running in the parking lot holding a vinyl. That made me laugh. Out loud. Listen to the podcast. That image.
Fact check.
So let's talk about episode 143.
Just holding his vinyl running in the parking lot.
I look, Kevin. I want to give you credit for many things that you do, but I was the one that shot that video of him running. And Kevin was cheering him on. That was an amazing part of the video.
Jeez, oh you.
Yeah. But geez, oh me. I was very excited about my on the fly editing. I had no editing to do to that, and it was something I was proud of. And then all the credit went to Kevin.
You're welcome.
Oh, that's good. Daniel did say he doesn't get the appeal, and then Reese said you need to meet him in person, and I think that really sums up the legend that is Brock Dittus.
10,000 Furnace Fest attendees can't be wrong, right?
It's true. They were all standing in line to meet me.
And if you don't get the appeal, I'm starting to think you don't listen to our podcast, and that's coloring my opinion. You know what I'm
saying? I do want to ask you, Brock, how do you feel about Reese Roper questioning his sexuality because of you?
I can honestly say I never anticipated that when I first started listening to Five Iron Frenzy years ago.
Wow.
That wasn't the end game?
That was not, no, I believe it or not, my evil plan did not involve
that was not your evil plan
to save the world.
Hey, just you wait till it's unfurled.
Hey-o.
That is quite the surprise.
Hey, that whole
Those are
exchange
not
is
my
going to go.
pants.
That whole exchange will go down in history. Oh,
On a more serious note, though, when Daniel talked about discovering that, like, the Pickle and Boot Shop diabolical discussion page was like,
Stuff to say.
it is, especially after a little bit of brown water, probably bourbon.
probably bourbon.
That knowing that those folks that liked similar things to him were not nearby, but they were here on the internet, is kind of what the same realization I've come to over participating. It's like, okay, I live in a place that's different than kind of what I'm interested in. That's fine. There's those folks are on the internet, and now they're on Zoom, here on this podcast, and so I completely related to what Daniel was saying, especially like also he talked a little bit about growing up where like shows didn't come through, so like being in a place where you didn't have access to go see people live, and so
Right.
you didn't have a lot of these experiences. That's where I grew up in the Florida Panhandle. Bands didn't really come through the Florida Panhandle, or occasionally Dothan, Alabama, guys, maybe Tallahassee, Florida, but it wasn't a touring hotbed. So most of my experience with a lot of these bands is through the recordings, not through the live shows. So I
Sure.
completely understood what he meant, or how he expressed that of like, I didn't have that opportunity to participate in the community where I lived when I was younger, but now there's this group of folks online who had similar interest and taste and connections, and it's good. And I agree with Reese's comment on like, there's a community here. Like I mean, he went so far as a faith community. I wouldn't disagree with him on that. Um,
And it's so true. I mean, I growing up in that area, I mean, I grew up about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours south of Daniel. So when he talked about getting out of the Adirondacks, or as Reese would say, the Adirondack, it was it's true. I mean, the area I grew up in had a little bit more going on than way up in New York where Daniel was. So it is true what he said about, you either get out of there or stay forever. And that's true. Not many things came through way up where he was. I had access to it because I was closer to Albany than he was. Um, we basically would get together. He'd come down and maybe get together with me for a show or two. I grew up with him. I didn't spend. I wish I had spent a little bit more time with him, but we'd get together for shows here or there, and then also a Saturday night church service. We'd get whenever I was not playing football or something. I'd go up for that. So. Uh, but yeah, we did get together for a couple shows at Inside Out Soul Fest. And I did not realize that he was at that Kingdom Mountain at Great Escape in Lake George, New York. That he was sitting on the outside. I was inside for Jeff Moore in the distance, and
also United.
and
that was
as
Clay
I was
Cross. You had told us about it.
Supertones,
right.
yeah. So I was there for that. I wasn't at that Supertone show.
Was it a home run? The Jeff Moore in the distance
show? Oh. All right, I will keep going.
Quick side tangent.
Yeah.
The absolute heaviest bass sound at a show I've ever been to, Jeff Moore in the distance.
Nice.
I want to say it was right around or just before Threads came out.
Yeah.
At Creation at Hershey Park, and holy crap, like they cranked the bass on that. Like you could just it was like your chest, it felt like you were getting punched.
What year were
they
you
were
at
getting
Creation?
louder? Yeah.
That was the Hershey Park year, so that would have been 90.
Oh, that was the year that the farm got flooded. That's right.
Yes, yeah. I want to say 95 or 6.
I'll do a quick
that was early. What did you go to, Pete?
I was not there for that year. I wish I had been, but
what year did you go?
I was back in '99, and I think I also went in 2000 because I went 99 when Switchfoot was a 3-piece, and then again in 2000 after they had gotten Jerome. So, hey, fact check approved. It is true. I mean, Daniel Rock did confirm I go to many Switchfoot shows.
You know your way around their history.
I was at Creation in 2002, I think it was.
Okay.
I went to one. My uncle was a youth minister, and I tagged along.
Only 2 years I went, I think, was 96 and 97.
Okay.
And that was 97 was when I met Reese and the other guys from Five Iron.
Oh, nice.
I feel like 2002 when I was there was one of those where Reese talked about like emceeing the side stage, like the alternative stage or whatever it was called. I feel like that was happening when I was there in 2002. Because like they were all the good bands. That was the stage I was excited about.
And I remember after Five Iron broke up, he did the same thing at Inside Out Soul Fest, which later shortened its name to Soul Fest.
That's right. And I know that Daniel moved away long before they shortened the name, so that's why he kept referring to it as Inside Out. And I appreciate that because that was the early days of Loon. But now it's known as Soul Fest. It was Inside Out Soul Festival.
Yep.
And we did go way back then. So many pictures. And he had different colored hair back then. Our friend Brian had different colored hair. I had bleach blonde from the sun. I did not color my hair, but it looked like I did. I will have to release those. I'll release those photos on the internet at some point when I find them. But the bleach blonde hair was amazing. It looked like I had frosted tips without actually doing anything.
Amazing. And I need to go through my photos to see if you guys happen to be in those photos because I was also there for like all those early years of Soulfest.
Right. Oh man,
so I found it. There's a Jesus Freak Hideout review of the Creation Fest 2002 when I was there with like a day-by-day breakdown. And so Switchfoot was 12 p.m. on the Fringe stage. They've got pictures. Five Iron was 1 p.m. on the Fringe stage. And then Rock and Roll Worship Circus, John Rubin and Bleach, Ace Troubleshooter, and then the Newsboys closed down the main stage that night.
What a lineup.
Yeah, that was, and like Jennifer Knapp was there, Michael W. Smith, Joshua Harris spoke, because of course. Bleach was there. Like it was a good time. I have
speaking of Jennifer Knapp, a friend of mine who I've been working with to produce some music just opened for Jennifer Knapp this last weekend.
That's awesome.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very, very excited for her. Yes.
Oh, and Friday on the main stage, 1 p.m.
Brock did his producer? I love this. Okay, continue.
Yes, it's true.
Friday at 1 p.m. on the main stage, Skillet.
So, yep. That's back when it would have been okay to see Skillet.
Yeah, and Delirious, question mark.
I don't remember, and he is right.
I believe you mean Deliria 5 question mark.
Yes, Deliria 5, just like much like
Move 5-tard.
Yeah, Move 5-tard.
That's right. That's it.
Delirious or Deliria 5 question mark. They did play Kingdom Bound at Great Escape with the Insiders. And it was a phenomenal show. I enjoyed that thoroughly. That was a great day. I will say though, he said that Joe was not necessarily nice to him. Joe was very nice to me. I don't know what happened there.
Interesting.
But Joe and I, there's a picture out there of Joe like just screaming at my head that we recreated for
that's right. You
last year.
It last year, yeah.
Yeah,
that's right.
I mean that, mind you, that might have been when they played at Darien Lake in Buffalo. I don't think so though. I had a media pass at that time, so maybe he felt like he had to be nice to me. I don't know.
Could be. And maybe it was a different time of day, maybe that was the thing.
Could have been right. But I do like what he said about, hey, what Daniel said is that realizing that he's human and he had been he had to get up early and do all that, and that was a great realization that I appreciated. But somewhere in my cassette tapes I have a jingle that Joe and Tim Tabor created for me for the Pete Hutchinson show back when I had a radio show.
Oh man,
dude, if you find that jingle, we'll rebrand immediately.
Yeah, we need to hear all of this.
I will find it, and I do have Joe Yerke and Tim Tabor doing an intro or doing a bumper for my show. So I gotta find.
Amazing.
I've been trying to find it. I can't find it anywhere, but I've been looking.
That's the next companion podcast.
That reminds me. I have one that Sonny from POD did for me. I've got to dig that out somewhere.
POD from this year's Furnace Fest lineup.
Yeah. What'd you think of their
Use of the
set?
nation, my ass.
Yeah, really, they've gotten old.
I felt so alive during their
So
set.
did you see the chatter about that of why they dropped?
No.
They were unhappy with their placement in the lineup, their placement on the marketing materials, and the size of the font. They weren't important enough, and that's why they bounced.
This is not necessarily confirmed, right? Like
that's what was in all the chatter, but like multiple people chimed in and were like, "Yep, that's what happened."
They could
when the
stand
materials
behind it.
came out, they didn't like where they, which is like, Furnace Fest is a weird place where POD's normal status in like the general market is a different status.
It's reduced amongst the Furnace Fest crowd.
Yeah, the hierarchy at Furnace Fest in that group is different. Like what makes you general market in a club popular does not automatically translate 1-to-1 to the Furnace Fest lineup. Like Stretch Armstrong's not going to sell out giant clubs, but at Furnace Fest, you put them later in the lineup. Period.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know what I
Big
mean?
deal.
Like, and it's not so much about ticket sales. It's like who they mean to this group of people is how you stack up.
Because POD only had one album on Tooth and Nail, so like it's that I think it makes sense the way they were built.
It was just an
EP, right.
Was it the Warriors? That was the original Warriors EP, right? Or was it? Yeah.
And most of the bands that play Furnace Fest are there for the experience, not for the notoriety. I think
they're there. They
don't go there because it's profitable.
100%. Yeah,
it's a good tour date for their financial or commercial success.
All right, this might not go well, but I need some isolation on this audio for my reaction. What the mother father pickles?
That's excellent.
Thank
well
you
played.
So much. All right.
I want to give Daniel Rock a shout out because he said his first Insider's disc was that Paradise maxi single, and I had that Paradise maxi single as well. I don't think it was my first. I still have the disc. I went through that phase where I threw out my jewel cases, and so I'm ashamed of myself, but. Yeah, I need to find another full copy that I can put on the shelf. But no, I would not
get that
know
audio.
about
Could we get that audio uploaded, please? I mean, if
yes,
someone finds it. Okay,
absolutely.
Continue on. I'm so sorry.
I got you. I can help you out.
I have it right over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have it right here.
Yeah,
it looks like, and mine is over like several hours that way. So I think it sounds like you guys are prepared to assist.
Smash that like button, like and subscribe.
Right.
And I have the hard copy right over there.
This is great for an audio medium.
It really is. Yeah, we're pointing in all different directions.
We're talking about this, right?
Yes, that's the one. Yep.
Oh yeah.
Oh, upload that crap.
There we go. Yep. So Brock, I threw out most of my jewel cases at some point. So my binders are just the discs. And I got rid of all of this, but I have a small stack. Oh, it's the worst. That Mercy Me CD. I have the CD and nothing else.
Yeah.
Because I had them all in the binder, and then I had Rubbermaids of the jewel cases, and my wife was like, "Why do we have this?"
Okay,
that was probably 10 years ago, and I was like, "Okay,
throw away the jewel cases, right?" But then you're like, "But I'm a collector."
Right, and then I've regretted it ever since.
Yeah.
But this one, for whatever reason, survived. And here it is.
During COVID, I got rid of all my jewel cases, but I kept all the paper materials to it.
So really, you're no farther out. You can rebuy jewel cases whenever you want.
Mm-hmm.
This may be the first Insiders. This might be the first thing I ever bought too, because I'm just looking at it now. It says look for the new Insiders release, Fight of Our Life, and I think that was the first full length I bought.
Yeah,
was Fight of Our Life.
I would have had, because I got Motor City Ska shortly after I learned about the existence of the Insiders, but I don't remember if I got that before or after I got the Paradise maxi single. And I think I may have gotten Paradise because that's what they had in the bookstore when I went in to buy.
I feel like I bought it because it was $4.99, and I was like, "Well, I'll grab that thing.
All
like
right.
$5, I'm in."
Such a deal as compared to $15.98.
Exactly, and it's got the Paradise karaoke mix, so
Yep.
we could have Paradise karaoke on a podcast episode.
I think we need to do this.
And that's why I need that uploaded, because I thought I had a
Yeah.
copy of that, and I can't
Yeah.
find it anywhere. I have another one that they put out, the one I uploaded a while ago to the group, but I don't think I have that one. So that'd
As
be
well
great.
as the Dark Fader mix of Our Wars.
Mhm.
It
Yes.
does. Yes. And just what I needed, which is available only on this disc, as it says
That's
right
right.
there.
Yep.
And that
So-
cover is so good.
Big
That's such a
thanks,
good
because
cover.
you guys maybe remember, like, I think Joe mentioned at some point he really wasn't excited about that cover, which I understand. You know, it's how it goes, and you don't always love everything that happens. But I would not know about the cars if it weren't for the insiders. So
Oh, nice.
thank you, Joe, and thank you, insiders, for connecting me to perhaps the most important pop rock band of the century, but last century, I mean.
I did see them on one of your album anniversary lists.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I'm a big fan of the cars, and it's because the insiders introduced me to them.
Wow.
I may be in the same boat.
There's a glare on it, but that's Shake It Up right there.
There we go. Thank you.
I think I'm in the same boat where I didn't really know the cars that I maybe knew that song, but I really liked that cover.
Right, me too.
And then you find out like the cars just slap. Like
The
they're
cars are
really
yeah,
good.
they're amazing.
Like,
Yeah, they
so
rule.
good.
So
And actually,
yeah.
when I saw the Aquabats, one of the guys from the Cars came out and sang, and they did a Cars song.
No way.
Very cool.
Yeah.
When was this?
Oh boy. Let's see. Reese would have been, the Coug
The
would
Coug.
have been,
Just a young cub.
yeah,
Yeah.
probably first or second grade, I
Okay.
think. And we took him and Megan to see the Aquabats up in Boston at the Paradise.
Oh, that's
Amazing.
Nice.
Because Rick Ocasek is kind of like the guy behind the cars, and he's the tall, lanky dude. Would it have been him?
No.
No, because Greg Hawkes, I think, is also pretty active, and he was the keyboard player for the Cars.
Yeah, I believe it was him.
Yeah, and he was blonde, is blonde. I'm trying to remember. He was the one that would sometimes wear glasses. I think the older he got, the fewer glasses he wore.
It's different. Benjamin Button, that thing.
Yeah, for real.
Good for
I
him.
feel like we have so many Benjamin Button references in this
People
podcast.
keep aging in reverse. It's not our fault.
And I also don't think I've ever seen that movie.
But have you read the short story by Scott Fitzgerald?
I have.
Yes, I have. Yeah,
It's a lot shorter than the movie.
It really
I have seen
is.
the movie, surprisingly. Like, I rarely get to win this game, but I've seen that movie.
I want to give a shout out to my brother-in-law because very side note on you watching movies, Jared. He said he texted me and he said, "Sheltered or not, you've never seen Die Hard."
I saw that this afternoon. I was cracking up.
It is rated R, right?
Yeah. Oh, because
so I mean that explains a lot.
Right?
I feel like yeah, exactly.
But Shelter, he's catching up on A Pickle Home Companion, so I appreciate that so much.
Thank you.
That
Shout out,
made me
Josh.
laugh.
Thank you for that.
And when he texted out of the blue, "Sheltered or not, you've never seen Die Hard, Jared."
So here's the funny part of that is I own Die Hard on DVD
and you've never seen it.
No. Because
it's not important that you've seen it. It's important that you have it.
Gotta have it. Gotta possess it. But the reason I own it is my very first boss in like athletics, what I'm doing now in academic advising and all that. This was 2008, who I started working for. Somehow it came up that I had never seen Die Hard, and he was appalled. And he's about 10 years older than me. And he was appalled. He's like, "What is wrong with you? How have you never seen Die Hard?" And there was something he had not seen, but I think it was way dumber. Like, I think it was Dodgeball. And I was like,
okay.
Have
you haven't seen Dodgeball?
Was it basketball? It was basketball.
Oh, I love basketball.
I have that
all
on VHS.
Seriousness, no irony, no trying to be humorous. I believe Dodgeball is the greatest sports film of the entire existence of the universe.
Wow.
And I will fight you on that and make my point, but we don't have time for that today. So
we
I will go in on
Dodgeball.
Blows. Yeah, I love Dodgeball. So he said something about like he's never seen Dodgeball. I said I'd never seen Die Hard. And he's like, "Well, I'm giving you Die Hard and you give me Dodgeball and we'll watch it."
There we go.
And he watched Dodgeball and I've never watched Die Hard, but I own it. And he gave it to me. It's still in the plastic, I think.
That's the news from Lake Scabagon, where all the Gideon Bibles are handsome, all the local guides are good looking, and all of the hotels are above average.
Oh, onward, pickle soldiers. Yes. Yes. Perfect podcast.
Another
perfect number
podcast.
42.
That's it.
Crushed it.
Much love, guys. Good to see you. Take care.
All right. That was fun.
All righty.
You're a
Good night.
legend.
See ya.
Good night, guys.
You need to gas up all of your homies so they won't give up. They will keep going.
I do want to give a quick shout out to Missy, who is blowing up the chat right now.
Is she now?
And just
our most ardent listener, right?
With a price drop on Crocs, and I did have to let her know that we are recording an episode right now. If you could stop.
Are you getting the Subaru Crocs? Who's buying the Subaru Crocs? That's what
I am not ready to buy Crocs this episode. Okay. Yes. One, I have Bucky's giblets or whatever they're called. Gibbets. I like giblets better.
Yeah.
For my future Crocs. And yes, I may have a pre-order on the Subaru.
Okay, it's gonna happen.
And also, yes, I may have custom made. I may have custom made some switchfoot gibbets, but I have not yet bought Crocs.